Okay, in electrical component, we have two types of components. The first one is known as the active components. The second one is known as the passive components. When you draw any electrical circuit, okay, any electrical circuit, you will see these components. Okay, you will see components, and that components will be either active components or passive component. Active component is that component which deliver energy. Passive component is that component which consume energy. So, Zara, can you give me an example of active component like battery that is delivering energy?
Yes, sir. Charger.
Yeah, charger that is also delivering energy. Voltage source. Okay. Passive component will be either resistor, it will be either capacitor, it will be either inductor. Okay, so when it consume energy, then the component passive component either will store that energy, okay, in itself, or it will release that energy in the form of heat or in the form of light. Okay, so let's say, okay, I am going to draw a circuit diagram. Let's say this is my battery, okay, voltage source. Here I am using bulb. Inside we have resistor wire. Here I am also using capacitor in series, and I have inductor. So electron will take energy from this voltage source, okay, and will go over here. So it will give some energy to this bulb, will give some energy to this, and will give some lefted energy to this inductor. Okay, so this will be my active component, and these elements consume energy. So these three elements are the passive component. This is a resistor, this is capacitor, this is inductor. Now, in these components, resistor take energy from the electron and convert that energy either in the form of light or in the form of heat. Okay, it do conversion in the form of heat or in the form of light. It does not store any energy. Okay, but capacitor and inductor will store energy. It will store energy in the form of electric field. Okay, and this element will also store energy. So these are the storing components. Okay, it will not deliver any energy, it will not release any energy, but it will store energy. So these are the storage elements. And resistor is delivering energy. Okay, whatever it consume energy, it will release all of its energy. It will not store any sort of energy. Okay, so your resistor doing conversion. It convert electrical energy into light energy, or you can say heat energy. Okay. Okay, so now let's start the capacitor. Then after capacitor, maybe in your book we will discuss the inductor, and we will do some sort of analysis using all these three components. So let's start the capacitor. Okay, so capacitor is such element which is used to store electrical energy. It will store the electrical energy in the form of electric field. An inductor store the electrical energy in the form of its magnetic field. Okay, inductor will take in energy from the electron and will store that energy in its magnetic field, and capacitor will store that energy in its electric field. So that is the main difference between capacitor and inductor. Okay, so in capacitor we have two parallel plates like this. Okay, these two parallel plates will store charge. Okay, will store equal charge, but equal and opposite charges. Okay, if this plate store 5 coulomb charge, so this will be plus 5, and this plate will store the opposite charges but same magnitude, that will be minus 5. Okay, so magnitude will always be same in the parallel plates of the capacitor. Okay, if you want to store charges, then you will connect this capacitor to a voltage source. Okay, so when you connect this capacitor to a voltage source, then what will happen? Then this is negative and this is positive, and we always talk about the conventional current. Actually, we have two types of current. One is known as the conventional current, and another one is the electronic current. So electronic current means flow of electron, and conventional current is the opposite of the electronic current and having the same magnitude. Okay, so let's say your electron is moving in this direction. Then it means that if the electronic current is moving in this direction, then it means that the conventional current is moving in this direction. So here we have lots of electron, and here we have lots of positive charges. Okay, so electron will move like this, and positive charges will move like this. So this is your conventional current. And in book, okay, and we will in physics book, the author and use the conventional current. Okay, and you will also use the conventional current if you want to show the direction. Then you will show the direction of the conventional current, not the electronic current. Okay, so the positive charges is moving like this, and it will come over here. So this is the positive. So here we will get positive charges, and here we will get negative charges. Okay, actually, it is the current is basically from the motion of the electron. It is not the motion of the positive charge, because proton is heavier, 18 to 37 times heavier than electron. So, and it is also inside the nucleus. Okay, so motion of protons. If you say that it is motion of protons, so that is wrong. But that is actually we represent the conventional current, and we define it like that. It is that current due to the flow of positive charges. Okay, but that is actually the electron flow of the electrons. Okay, if one electron left this and come over here, okay, then here we also have electrons. If let's say here we have lots of electron, and electron will come over here. Okay, so actually this is neutral. Now it is neutral. It means we have equal number of positive charges and equal number of negative charges on this plate, and equal positive and negative charges on this plate. But when electron come over here, then electron on this plate will go backward. Okay, so here you will get positive charge. If another electron come over here, then this electron will repel this electron, and it will come over here, and so here you will get positive charge. If another electron, similarly, here you will get lots of negative charges, and here you will get lots of positive charges. Okay, so you can say that this plate electron induce positive charges over here. So, okay, here we will use insulating medium. Okay, and that medium will be you can use it anything. You can use here paper as an insulator medium. You can use here oil as an insulating medium. You can use air as an insulating medium. Okay, and all these have different dielectric strength, and using insulator medium over here is known as the dielectric. Okay, so all these will have different dielectric strength. Okay, so and the storage of charges is known as the capacitance. The amount of the stored charges on plates is known as the capacitance. And you can increase the capacitance. It means capacitance means the amount of charges. You can increase the amount of charges on plate if you increase this area. If you increase the area, then the lots of charge will get stored. Okay, if you increase this area, so you will get lots of charges over here. So it means if you increase the area, then the capacitance will get increased. Okay, and if you use the best dielectric over here, okay, those dielectric which have high dielectric strength, then the storage of capacitance will get increased. Okay, amount of charges will get increased, so it means the capacitance will get increased. Best dielectric strength means best insulated material. Okay, so if you use insulator over here, okay, let's say these are the two plates, and here you are using insulating dielectric. So in insulator we have positive and negative ions. If this is negative, and let's say this is my insulator dielectric, so you will in neutral dielectric, okay, this is non-polarized, so there will be random positive and negative.
Dielectric means insulator.
Yeah, dielectric means insulator. Dielectric means that material which we use in between those parallel plates. So you have random positive and negative charges. Now, if I insert this dielectric in capacitor parallel plates, these are the parallel plates. Okay, and I insert that dielectric over here. So let's say this plate is the negative, and this is positive. So here I will get positive charge, but here I have negative charge. So this electron will repel this charge, will push back this charge toward this way, and will attract this positive charge. Now, if your dielectric is a best insulator means there is a strong attractive force. Okay, no external force affect these charges. Okay, the motion of these charges. So that is your best insulator. Okay, as we studied that in insulator there is no mobile electron. Okay, all electrons are fixed in insulator, but there are some insulator, if you give energy, okay, let's say if you give 5 kilojoule energy, then that insulator will become conductive. Okay, the insulated properties of that material will get zero. Okay, if you give 5 kilojoule energy, there are some insulator which require high demand, which have high demand, and that is less than kilojoule energy. So this insulator will be best than this insulator. Okay, so if you use best insulated material over here, then that will require loads of energy to displace this electron, to repel it back. Okay, so this electron gets loads of energy from its source. Okay, let's say you are using this insulator. So and here electron have 5 kilojoule energy. So this energy is not enough for displacing these ions. Okay, so these electron will get lots of energy from the voltage source, and if the voltage is either 10 kilojoule or greater than 10 kilojoule, then this electron will get angry and it will push back, and here you will get positive charge. So the electron will come over here and it will store this energy, as this electron is giving energy to this electron, and it will move over here. Okay, and this electron will store that energy in the form of potential energy, which we studied last time. Okay, so here we will get positive charge, and here we will get negative charge. So you can say that now the dielectric is polarized. Okay, now you have let's say this plate only have the ability to take 5 electrons, 5 charge, 5 coulomb charge. So this will obviously take plus 5 coulomb charge, and this will be minus 5 coulomb. So one electron will come over here and it will store, this plate will store that electron. Second electron, this plate will store. Third electron, this plate will store. Fourth, this plate will store. Fifth electron, fifth plate, this plate will store that electron. But when 6 electron go over here, then these 5 electrons will repel this electron. Okay, so these 5 electrons will not allow the 6th electron to come over here and store over here. Okay, so you can say that the current will become zero. So when your current will become zero, when your capacitor fully charged, when your capacitor gets full charge, your current will become zero. Okay, so you can say that my capacitor get charged. If you use ammeter over here, and if you get zero current in this ammeter, so you can say that my capacitor get charged. Okay, there will be no current when capacitor get charged. Okay, but if you remove this source, okay, if you remove this voltage source and you connect let's say bulb, so this bulb will give you light. So now this bulb is taking energy from the capacitor. Okay, this dielectric will give energy to this electron, and this electron will come over here, and this electron will deliver that energy over here. Okay, so now after this, current will flow like this, and you can say that my capacitor is discharging. So that is the discharging. Okay.
You can end the class now.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll study the quantitative analysis of the capacitor. Okay.